All right, guys. So in this walkthrough, we're going to walk through Atom. I'm going to kind of orient you guys to be able to start successfully using Atom. I'm going to help you guys set up at least the navigation and recurring elements for your 4 pages. So that'd be like your head, your navigation, your footer for your 4 pages that you're going to do for your website, and talk about folder structure. Okay, so in order to do that, all of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about, there will be a video in the actual walkthrough assignment. Also, you guys can go into Unit 0, and I have reference material. Specifically, what I'm going to be covering in here, if we go into the topics, web design on a desktop or laptop, I have videos. So videos going over how to download Atom, orienting you to Atom, and helping to do the folder structure, adding packages to Atom. These 2 are for adding packages. Well, actually, all 3 of these are for adding packages to modify Atom for how you want. Okay, so let's kind of jump into it. Okay, Atom is a text-based editor. It is used for us to be able to code and write code, and it can be pretty much any code. It doesn't have to be just HTML or CSS, but that's what we are going to use it for. So it's really, really useful, and you can pretty much customize it to how you want. Okay, so you guys have at this point been dabbling in and out on different pieces of code. What we are going to be doing is spending some time, don't need to save that, spending some time setting up folder structures and everything in Atom, and building our stuff. So let me remove project folder. Okay, all right, so when you guys get in, pretty much minimize everything until you get to where it looks like this. We don't need to see any other windows. Okay, now the first thing that you guys are going to need to do is you guys are going to need to create a folder for your folder structure. Okay, so normally that would be done in your documents folder. Okay, so in here I am going to want to create a folder. That is going to be where I'm going to create all my project stuff. Okay, now you guys are not able to right click, which is annoying. So the way that you guys do around it is up here. This is a quick taskbar. We can click the drop down, and we want all of these selected. Okay, you should have check marks by every single one. All right, now we can here, this is for creating a new folder. This is for renaming, undoing, redoing, and deleting. Okay, that's everything that we would really need. I think this is for properties right here. Yep. Okay, so what you guys are going to do is, the first thing is we need to create a new folder inside a documents folder that we are going to have our project. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to type my website, and I'm going to make sure that I don't have any spaces. Okay, click enter, and there it is. Now let's say that I need to select it. I'm going to hover over it, click once. Hopefully it doesn't open up anything. Sometimes you can click with control to have it open, but we need it highlighted in blue, and then these will pop up. So if I needed to rename, I could rename this to whatever I wanted. Okay, and then I just have to click off or click enter for what I want. So if you forgot to type in and just kept saying new folder, that's how you could select it. So we want my website, and then everything that we're going to create is going to be inside of here. Okay, all right, now if we first start a project, so let's say I do new file, because Atom, it's everything that we're using on these is very standard. File, the file tab is going to be dealing with opening and creating and saving files. Edit is going to be using for copying and pasting, different things on how we want to edit our actual screen. View, how we actually want to see what it looks like, increasing the font size, that type of stuff. Selections, we can be a little bit more specific on how we do our selections. Packages, for adding different packages, which I talked about in the videos. So we'll use some of these, but to start a new file, I can do new file. I can also just click Control N. Now, what I see here, on the left-hand side, this is my project folder panel, okay? So we don't want to have any project folder that we're not currently working on in here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Folders, and I am going to navigate to my website folder right here. That's what I want. I don't want to be deeper than that. I just want to be on the folder. I'm going to click Select Folder, and now it shows up here. Now, even if I click this to open it up, I don't have anything in there because it's an empty folder. On the right, this is the code that I could start writing. Now, I can have multiple windows open for all the different pages that I have that I'm typing on. Now, when I look at the bottom, we can pretty much ignore the GitHub and Git stuff, but you should see where it says plain text. Okay, if I wanted to start writing code here, I have to write everything manually, and this is tedious. No one wants to do this. It's prone to errors. I can't see anything color-coded. If I forgot to close properly, it is not going to correct for me. This is not good. We shouldn't do it this way. Okay, but the way that we get it to correctly know that we are typing in HTML means that we actually have to create the file. So I'm going to go to File, and right after I create a file, I need to just save it. Okay, so I can scroll down here and look. Now, I want you guys to start getting used to using the shortcut keys, so Control S for save, or we can click. Okay, now it's already opening in my website folder because I set that as my project, but if it isn't, I will navigate to my website folder. Your very first page that you create should always be all lowercase index.html. That's it. Okay? No caps, no spaces. This has to be the name of your first page. It absolutely has to. As soon as you go live, this will break if it is not index.html. We go ahead and click Save. Now I can see it show up in my project folder because it is now inside that folder. If I navigated to my website folder, I'm seeing it right there. Okay? Now in Atom, the file that I'm working on is showing up here, index.html. If I hover over it, I can actually see the location of where it is. I see it's the index.html file is in the My Website folder that is in the My Documents. That makes sense. That's what I want. If ever I am working on stuff and I don't see those changes happening, chances are I might have been working on a different file than the one that I'm trying to display in the browser, and so that's going to cause issues. So this is one of the things that you always want to check. Okay, now, using stuff like this, so now that it is showing that it's using HTML, now this makes it a lot easier for me. I want to get my backbone code out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type HTML and click Tab. Look at that. Look at all that code. It automatically got written for me. That makes things way easier. That's why we want to use Atom. Okay, so to kind of orient you a little bit, you guys are going to get this information as you guys continue through the course. We are writing in HTML5. Line 1 is letting us know that this is HTML5. Okay, HTML has tags or elements, and we know which element we're talking about because it will have an opening tag and a closing tag. You know that it's a closing tag because it has the slash right before the name. Okay, anything in between those is inside of that element or subordinate to that element, a child of that element. Okay, so we inside of our HTML, we have the head and the body. The body is all the visual of what we see on our page. That's what's displayed when you're looking online on any browser. What is between the body is what we see. Now in the head is all the informational stuff about our website. Okay, so it's keywords, authors, dates, languages that we're using, how we want our screen size to go, all that stuff. That's all inside the head. Okay. So there is a couple things that I want us to play around with, because what we're going to do is we're going to work on our index.html page. We're going to get that all set up, and then we're going to save that as a different document for our other 3 pages. Okay, so then we'll have like a good starting point. So the first thing that we're going to go to is we have a link to this head elements and the viewport. Okay, so this will give an explanation of each one of these things. The head element, what we're using it for, title, which kind of already talked about, style. You guys are not using in-document CSS, so you're not going to do this, but for the purpose of W3 Schools, which is a very good resource, and Free Code Camp, you will end up doing in-document styling just because that's how the project is set up. But for your personal project, if you want to do less work, you are doing external CSS design, which I will show you guys how to do. And that's how we would link to it, is by using the link in the head of our pages. Okay, the meta elements are for giving more information about the page. So looking at this specifically, we already have the meta char set here. Okay, we already have that. We want the rest of them. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this. And meta is a good example of a self-closing element. Notice that there is not a closing tag for meta. There are other elements that are like that. So I want this one, description. This would be a description of my page, not the website itself. The author. We're just going to copy and paste these and then fill them in. We could specifically say how we want our page to refresh. For this purpose, unless you're running like specific video or content, you don't really need this. You don't have to force a refresh on your page. But we do definitely want this. We want to be able to control the viewport so that we can control the sizing of our page. So if we look over here, that's this. We'll give more information about sizing, but we want to choose how we're initially zoomed in onto the page, and to control how we are dealing with sizing so that when we want to be responsive for our page, we are able to. Okay, so at a minimum, you should have all of this. Now these should be keywords separated by commas of specific keywords for your page, so your content. And this should be page specific, not website specific. So, you know, if this is, in my case, Pirate Coffee House, I would, you know, end up building roasted coffee. I can add a whole bunch of examples. Here I could write a simple, you know, sentence description of my page. This page will provide information about our roasting process. Okay, something like that. Okay, we can put our information in there for author. We don't need to touch anything on this. Okay, all right, so I started filling out the head. The only other thing on here is the title. What I want you guys to put on here is your last name and first website. Okay, or let's do web page. That would be more specific. Okay, all right, so now I want to save, okay? Now we could go file, we could go save, but since we see that this is blue, that blue dot, I want to get used to using the shortcuts, Control S to save. That blue dot should go away. We have properly saved. Okay, now if we go and navigate to our folder on our computer, we can double click on that page. Look, it's completely blank. And I see my title, Redbeard's First Web Page. Okay, why is it completely blank? Because I have nothing in the body. Okay, this is just informational. This is not anything that we should see on our page. If it is, you got some actual mistakes that you're going to have to deal with. I will walk through how to use validators later on a separate walkthrough, but in terms of this, okay, we want to actually start building some stuff. Okay, now I could type anything, hello world, save, Control S to save. Let's go ahead and save. My computer's hanging up. And then refresh on the page. So we can refresh here, F5 or Control R will also refresh. Now normally we don't ever write code that isn't like this because this is not real code. We want to make sure that we are always using elements. Why is this freezing up on me? Okay, so normally a body is going to be broken up into multiple parts. So we will have a header, which is part of the body. That's usually where you find your navigation. We're going to end up having a main, which is our main information of our page, which can be broken up into several different elements. You guys will learn more about semantic HTML. And then we end up finishing with a footer. These are the main components that you see on almost every page. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and have those written. Now, using packages, add and beautify will help make sure that everything is like tabbed in correctly. I can see that these are all a part of the head because they're tabbed in a little bit. Header, main, footer, they're all tabbed in a little bit, so I know that they're part of the body. Okay, so what I'm going to help you guys do is we're going to first build our footer, and we're going to do maybe a paragraph. So I'm just going to type P and tab, and that gives me the opening and the closing element. I can type whatever element I want and just type tab, and it's just going to give me the complete one. And I'm going to say something simple, you know, whatever is going to be kind of like my tagline for my page, made with 100% recycled pixels because we care about the environment. Okay, all right, so there is my tab. Why is this doing that? File, save as. Well, I will just copy this and I'm going to close. It's freaking out, so that's why I copied. All right, so there we go. Control S. Wonder if it's not doing it because I have it open. Well, that's annoying. File, save as. That's weird. Let's reopen Atom just in case. Sometimes it might do something like that, and that's okay. All right. If the project folder doesn't automatically load, you can go ahead and reset that up. We learned how to do that. Let's see if it's doing it now. Awesome. I wonder. Okay, if you end up having an issue where it doesn't want to save into your folder, you just have to be prepared for that. Let's go ahead and try to save this back. Save as. We want to save this in our documents, in my website. Yeah, doesn't want to do it. Okay. All right. Sometimes these school computers are not wanting to operate correctly. Your documents folder should allow you to save. If for whatever reason it's not allowing you to save, we can try going directly into our desktop folder and having our project folder there. there's a couple different places that we can do it. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have that, and then we can open and make changes as we need to. Okay, so I had to move mine to my desktop for this to properly open. So now if I should be able to see this footer here, if I don't see it, because that's looking for my website at my desktop, but what am I working on? I am working on, this is showing for my documents folder. So I need to remove this project folder and add the one here. Let's save. Okay, the blue went away. I know it's saved. Now here I can come back. Now if I refresh, it's actually showing up something. Okay, so we just got to pay attention to that. All right, so now that that's showing up, I got my header. Now, or I got my footer. Now let's go ahead and start building the header. The header, we are using we're doing navigation. So nav, tab. Nav is going to be built using a list, an unordered list. So unordered list, tab. Now we're going to end up having 4 links. I'm going to do 1, li, tab. And inside here is going to be an anchor because it's going to be something that I want to click on. A, tab. And if it doesn't let me do it, I need to just separate the space, separate the open and closing tags, and then type it. A, tab. This would be maybe my first page. So I would say home page or home or something to that effect. Now my href is going to be the name of the file that I'm currently on. Now, since this is the index page that I'm on, then this one's going to be blank. This is going to be just the hashtag. Now, I want to basically take this, because I don't like retyping stuff, and I'm going to do this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now for my second page, I could do page2.html. Okay, and that means that I'm linking to this, page2.html. Actually, let's change this to, whatever your second page is. I'm just going to do page 2. Okay, third page, page 3, and this would be page 3.html, page 4, and then this is going to be page 4.html. You don't ever want to write your stuff though with caps, so notice that I wrote these names all small. Now this one will make it so it's a dead link. It is not clickable. Okay, now this is one page. Okay, I need to create these 3 pages, and if I do that with this already as my template, then I don't have to write all this code over again. So I'm going to go up to here, I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Save As instead of Save. Save As, Control-Shift-S. And instead of typing in index, I need to type the name of this. So page2.html, so that's what we're going to do. All lowercase, page2.html, and save it. Okay, now it's showing up here. And if I click on it, and I click on my index, look, they should look the exact same. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that 2 more times. So for page 3 and page 4, save as. Page 3.html. And let's make sure. File, save as, Control-Shift-S, Control-Shift-S, and we're going to do page 4.html. Okay. All right, so now that I have that, I have all 4 of those pages. Now I need to make them a little bit more specific. Index, I didn't want clickable. Okay, page 2, I can't click on the page that I'm already on. So this needs to become the hashtag. My home page needs to become index.html. Save, Control-S. Page 3, I'm going to do this, the same thing. Index.html. Page 3 is now the dead link. So hashtag. Control-S to save. Page 4, index.html. And page 4 is now my dead link. Okay, Control-S to save. Now, if I open this up, I go back to here and refresh, I have my folder structure. Okay, Now I can click on each one of these and I see the pages showing differently, which is good. That's what I want, okay? What I don't want to see though is actually the same title for every single page, okay? So maybe this would be my second one, or whatever topic you guys are going to do. Third, and fourth. Control S, Control S, Control S. Okay, now if I come here, go to this page, refresh. Oops, what do I got? I got an error. Which page did that do? This is trying to go from page 3. I clicked on home page and it messed up. So that's where we got to go. Page 3, I have a mistake. Control S to save. Come back here, refresh. Let's go back. Page 3, click on it. Okay, it works. What you guys need to do is you guys need to double check all your links to make sure that there's nothing dead, okay? So we have basically went through setting up a project folder, on our desktop. We set up how to do each one of the pages, using one page correctly set up as a template, and then making copies of all of our other pages using shortcuts, okay? And seeing the benefit of using Atom for quickly getting our code, okay? This is what you guys are going to be turning in. You guys are going to be turning in all 4 of these pages. Index, page 2, 3, and 4 into me so that I can see that you guys had this correctly set up. I want you guys to give a good title for your stuff and good link names for your different pages. All right? Good luck. Have fun.